Hi everyone, MC Rich S here, welcome back to Barbie. In this video we are combining my two favourite things, dolls and horror movies. I've a lot of vintage dolls coming from various friends and I have to store some of my Barbies to make room for them. This is really difficult for me because you know I love Millie and I have a ton of them. Whittling down the fashionistas is also going to be difficult because I love their diversity. So let's play a game of display or store while I talk about the new Exorcist movie. The rules are: is she vintage? Is she a gift? Is she an extra doll? Is there a full set of dolls? Are there more than two? Okay, let's bring on the first set of contestants and I'll give you a synopsis of The Exorcist Believer. In Haiti, photographer Victor Fielding and his pregnant wife Seren, blessed by a voodoo practitioner, are on their honeymoon until a massive earthquake ensues. Seren is gravely injured. Paramedics tell Victor he must choose to either save his wife or his unborn child. 13 years later, Victor has lost his faith in God since Seren's death, while raising Angela on his own. One day after school, Angela ventures into the woods with her Baptist friend Catherine to perform a ritual in an attempt to contact Angela's mother. Victor realises his daughter is missing and contacts Catherine's parents, Miranda and Tony, as a 3-day manhunt ensues. The girls are later found in a barn. Though traumatised, they seem relatively normal and are taken home, having only suffered burn marks to their feet. The girls begin to display abnormal behaviour, such as Catherine staging an outburst at the local church, "The body and the blood, the body and the blood," while Angela tries to suffocate Victor with her mother's scarf before convulsing. Miranda theorises that the girls travelled to hell and brought a demon back with them, hence the burns to their feet. Victor puts Angela in a hospital where their nurse neighbour Anne attends to her, while Catherine's parents keep her at home. The girls' condition worsens as their bodies become covered with sores and they begin speaking in tongues. Anne becomes convinced that Angela is possessed after the latter reveals her knowledge of Anne's training as a nun and her abortion. She gives Victor a book written by Chris McNeil, who experienced a similar situation with her daughter Reagan in 1973. Chris has spent her life researching exorcisms in every culture while becoming world-renowned in her studies. However, Reagan became distant from her mother due to the memoir's success and has not seen her since. Victor searches for Chris and takes her to the hospital to see Angela before going to Catherine's home. While Victor attends to Miranda and Tony, Chris goes upstairs and begins to perform her own exorcism on Catherine. Catherine stabs Chris multiple times in the eyes with a crucifix, blinding her, before Victor rushes her to the hospital. Victor, Miranda, Tony and Anne reach out to the church and a priest, Father Maddox, for an exorcism. Chris advises Victor to use methods from all different cultures and religions, and the group seek the help of Dr. Behibe, a root work healer, Don Revens, Catherine's family's Baptist pastor, and Stuart, a Pentecostal preacher. The group plan the exorcism, but the local diocese forbids Maddox from participating. The girls are tied to chairs as the group proceed with the exorcism. The demon reveals that Victor did not choose to keep Angela alive 13 years ago. He chose Seren, but she died from her injuries. The demon tells him that he needs to choose which of the girls gets to live and which one will die, and if a choice is not made, he will kill them both. While Miranda and Victor both refuse to forsake each other's child, Maddox, who has a change of heart, rejoins the group. Maddox reads from the Roman ritual only for the demon to snap his neck and kill him. As Victor apologises to Angela and uses Seren's scarf to attempt to strengthen her against the demon, Tony yells that he chooses Catherine, and Angela flatlines. Suddenly, the demon reveals that the one that was chosen would be the one who died. Catherine screams for her parents as the demon drags her to hell, while Angela starts to breathe. In the aftermath, Anne gives a statement to the police. Victor visits Seren's grave. For fuck's sake, Chelsea, get a grip. Honestly, this girl, she's had too much to drink. She does not want to stand up. No. And down she goes. She's getting stored. Miranda and Tony mourn the loss of Catherine, and Angela returns to school. In the hospital, Chris is reunited with Reagan, who forgives her mother, and they emotionally embrace. So the movie played for about an hour and 50 minutes-ish. And yeah, I was entertained, definitely. I thought the first half of the movie was better paced and more gripping than the second half, which was a bit of a mess. What with the priest, the minister, the born-again Christian friend and the voodoo practitioner all working together. Yeah, no, that would not happen in the real world. The Christian guys maybe, but absolutely not with the voodoo lady. Chris McNeil, her part wasn't, how shall I say, fully fleshed out. She didn't do a great deal. Ellen Burstyn really didn't want to do the movie, and she's 90, so the director probably didn't want to give her a lot because of her age. But she did a good job with the part as always. The girls, they were both great. I thought they handled their roles really well, and I do think the movie suffered from having a dual focus, and Catherine and her family weren't really fleshed out as much as Victor and Angela. They were a stereotypical praise Jesus, hallelujah Christians, and that was about it, which was a shame. The dual focus meant that we just didn't really care about either family all that much. The second half of the movie throw everything at it, including the spiritual kitchen sink and see what works. And well, none of it did. Tony saw to that. And performing the Roman ritual was, didn't do it for me. The religious diversity as a whole was a bit, to be completely honest. Having said all this though, it was still enjoyable, and Reagan making an appearance at the end was a great touch. Linda Blair didn't want to be in the movie, but she agreed to a cameo. Would I see it again? Yeah, I would. I would like to see what it's like with the 11 minutes that were cut before general release. I found the 1973 Exorcist movie a bit boring, but I can appreciate it for the solid piece of filmmaking that it is. Believer was never going to match it that way. Is it the best horror movie I've ever seen? Well, no, of course not, but it's certainly not the worst horror movie I've ever seen. And it's nowhere near as bad as some reviewers shitting all over it would have you believe. So, there we are. I was planning to make a Dolltober series, doing a spooky doll post every day, but life got in the way and, well, just hasn't happened this year, so I'm going to concentrate on making a haunted doll video for this Halloween. Here we are. We now have the restocked Barbie shelf. As I was putting the dolls back on display, I did pop a couple of extra ones in storage because, well, you know, I got them on the shelf and I just wasn't all that keen. and I do need the room. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you enjoyed me rambling. I also hope you will join us in the next video. So from myself and MC Canadian Dollar, please like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.